Hello, my name is Sham, like Shamu Shamu.
And I'm Casey.
Like
Casey.
like KC, exactly.
Like the sea.
Like the C. Like the C is okay. Well, that C is KC, yeah.
And that's like Casey there, yeah.
Like the K from OK Storm. OK, K, and C, like C. Like the sea, like under the sea, under the sea. Anyway, we're in Green Square. Green Square is an eikaiwa where you can learn all kinds of English and like business, travel, daily conversation. You can prepare for TOEIC and ACAD and IELTS.
Yeah.
And today we're doing a sham talk. Hisashiburi. Long time no sham talk.
Yeah, it's been a long time, mate.
It's been a long time, but we're back, baby. Yeah. And I just wanted to say I missed you, Casey.
I miss it too, Sean.
Yeah. Got to speak louder though, boy.
Speak louder. Okay.
Say that louder.
Louder.
No, say I missed you louder.
I missed you. That had no emotion.
I missed you.
Like a robot.
Yeah. I missed you how a robot misses its core programmer. So we are going to talk because it's a sham talk, and this is for like intermediate levels. 中級、まあ上級までかな? Yeah, it's like maybe. We don't even know. We don't know what we're doing in this video. We know what we're doing outside the video, but not in this video. So I just wanted to cover the news. Some news. Because the news is so happy recently. So the news I read recently that Prada, the fashion house, they angered an Indian village which is famous for crafting, for making these leather shoes, these leather sandals.
Yeah.
Because in Milan Fashion Week, they had these leather shoes which were a kind of copy of these shoes from Kolhapur in India. And the Indian shoemakers, like this town, they don't have a lot of business. There's not a lot of people going there, and a lot of these artisans, these people who make the shoes, they're going out of business and they're struggling. They don't make a lot of money, maybe $4 or $5 a day. And Prada, we don't know what the price is going to be, but their other leather sandals have been priced at like $1,000 each. So it's a lot of money, and they're pretty much the exact same design as these sandals in India. And a lot of people have been kind of outraged, they're kind of angry about this, saying, yeah, Prada, like, stop doing that. Especially because Prada did not give any history about these shoes and where the design comes from. Now, what are your immediate thoughts? What are your thoughts about this news story? What do you think it is?
I would say, like, if they had like any of the artisans from India actually like working with them, I would not call it like cultural appropriation.
Cultural appropriation. What is cultural appropriation?
So if I had to define it, it would be like taking something that's not part of your culture and then selling it.
Taking something that's not part of your culture
like
and
benefiting
and
from something benefiting from other people's culture.
Yeah, maybe. I think it also is at the expense of the other culture.
Yeah.
So if it has a negative impact on the other culture. So Prada is selling these shoes which are part of an Indian heritage at the cost or the detriment of the they're selling these sandals at the detriment of this community in India who make these sandals. Do you think that's cool?
No, it isn't.
That's not cool, man. I think that's not good.
Not good.
NG. I think it's not good. What do you think? You think if they had some of the Indian artisans working for them and being paid a decent wage,
I would say like nobody would be like outraged by it.
I still think people will be outraged by it.
I would say maybe it would be. Some people would say like it's more of an like cultural exchange or cultural appreciation instead of
what?
Appreciation.
Cultural appreciation
instead of appropriation. So
instead of appropriation. Cultural exchange. What is that?
So like when you exchange cultures with that's not your own.
And there's no detriment to the other culture.
Yeah. So you're benefiting like with each other's culture. Like
so what benefit could Prada bestow upon this Indian town, Kolhapur?
So I would it would probably be that it would bring popularity to the products themselves, like the sandals. And I would say that would give more work for the artisans in the local community.
So you think keeping in mind, immediately they did not even mention this town, did not even mention the history of the shoe, but they pretty much completely copied this shoe.
So I would say that's just outright cultural appropriation.
Yeah, so for me, the thing, like, since then they've apologized and they've actually given credit to this town after there was a backlash.
Yeah.
After there was this big kind of storm, lots of people got angry and there was a backlash against them. They kind of explained that these were influenced or they came from this town. So for me, it's cultural appropriation. You're taking these sandals, these leather shoes, which I don't know how much they will cost in India in this town. And there have been other imitations of these shoes which are not leather. They're synthetic material, which are cheaper. And a lot of international people, a lot of visitors to that region will buy the cheaper version. And again, I don't think that's a good thing to do. I think the leather product probably won't be breaking the bank. They won't be too expensive. So I would love to go to India or be able to order from a website that employs the local artisans. And I'd love to be able to order these shoes directly. And I think there is, like you said, there is one good thing about this in that it has brought attention. Like, I had never heard of this town, Kolhapur, before. And now I have. And I think their shoes are quite handsome. But Prada, I might be wrong. I don't think they've employed any of the local artisans to make these shoes. And I think they are benefiting from this Indian culture without paying the credit or like actually giving attention to this town originally and charging probably what's going to be maybe $1,000.
Outrageous amounts of money.
An outrageous amount of money. So I think that's cultural appropriation. Now, the second instance, 7 years ago, there was a story of Dior, making a boomerang. They made a boomerang. Dior made a boomerang. What? They made a boomerang as a fashion accessory because you know these rich women walking around. Sometimes you might just, oh yeah, my lipstick and my perfume. Oh, my boomerang. Yeah. And they kill a chicken. I don't know what they do it for. I don't know what they use it for. But boomerangs are part of the indigenous people of Australia. It's part of their culture. And so they also have an industry of where people can go and they can buy these handcrafted boomerangs because they are not well off as well. They're from a very poor community. And Chanel, was it Chanel? Dior, one of them, Dior, I think. They made this boomerang. Isn't it the same thing? I don't know. They made this boomerang and they charged $2,000 for this boomerang. And a lot of the indigenous people of Australia, they got very angry about this, saying this is part of our culture and you're just going to rip it off, sell it, and not tell the story of this about our culture to people. You're not going to hire any indigenous people of Australia to make the product. You're not going to benefit. You're not going to give any of the benefit to us. You're just going to take this product, make it, sell it for an outrageous amount of money at like very, very high price. First of all, what do you think? Do you need a boomerang?
I do not.
Yeah.
Not in my life that I think like, where's my boomerang?
Yeah, I've never thought, do you know what I really need in this situation? I really need a boomerang. Fumika, do you need a boomerang? Do you need a boomerang?
Boomerang?
Do you know boomerang? Yeah,
Yeah.
いうやつ。なんか、投げるのやつ、なんか戻る。必要ですか？いらないか？
Yeah.
First of all, no one needs a boomerang. But what else is there to say? Do you think this is cultural appropriation?
I do think so, yeah.
I think it's cultural appropriation as well. So, Prada, and I should really check which one it is. My phone's right here. Let me check. I think it is Dior boomerang, Chanel boomerang. Chanel.
That's a Chanel. Okay.
Chanel. Sorry, Dior. Dior, keep doing your thing. Chanel boomerang. It was a Chanel boomerang.
It was a Chanel.
So
Okay.
Prada, enough copying these leather shoes. Chanel, no more boomerangs, please. Now, this is where it gets difficult. A lot of people would say this is also cultural appropriation. I want to know what you think.
Yeah.
Imagine an American, a white American high school student going to her prom wearing a kimono.
See, like, that is like, the line there is difficult to draw because like, how do I know like what their intentions are? Like, if their intention is just benefit from that culture without like any story whatsoever, not giving any benefit to like what the culture is from. But if it's an individual, like, I would say it's more of an appreciation, more so than appropriation, because they just want to enjoy that culture, I think.
Yeah.
Because like, they don't really get any benefit, I would say, from like dressing up, cosplaying, or some would say cosplaying is from a person from another culture. Like, it's quite difficult to draw the line. But if it's for a personal reason, like just it's prom, like I don't think it's appropriation.
Yeah, I don't think that's appropriation. I do have a few conditions or caveats, or just basically a few things that I would add. It depends on where they bought that kimono. I would hope that the kimono is Japanese made in Japan, made by Japanese people, and not just some Shane or Temu.
Yeah, that would be the least thing that they could do.
Yes, I think so. But I don't think this is a cultural appropriation. I think it's more appreciation of the culture, and that they want to show how much they respect and admire this culture and the style behind it. Because kimonos are beautiful.
Yeah.
They're amazing. So I just hope that they would buy it from a Japanese company or someone made in Japan. What do you think about someone? What about a person who has afro hair, but they've chosen to make it afro? Like maybe they have hair like you or me, but then they make it into dreadlocks or they make it into afro. Would you say that's cultural appropriation?
Is it cultural appropriation?
Cultural appropriation.
So since we're like drawing the line that it's like, for me, like I've drawn the line that it's like a personal reason, and they're kind of like, you just want to appreciate this culture, then I would say like that's not appropriation.
Me too. I think I would agree. I think if they are getting this treatment done from maybe someone of the culture as well, it would be a better benefit. But I think in general, it's just a love of the style. The other thing you have to remember is the history of both cultures.
Yes.
So for example, if it's an African culture in America and a Caucasian or a white person decides to get an afro, it can be insensitive or it can be a little bit strange because of the histories that these two groups, this European American and maybe this African American's past, their history is not so good.
I would say like because like a lot of the African Americans were like scrutinized. Was that would be the word for like their hairstyle? Like when they wore their dreads, they were kind of like seen as like uncivilized.
Oh, it's prejudiced.
Yeah,
prejudiced against.
Like they were prejudiced against them because like they were looked down on wearing the dreads, but now they see people wearing them as if it's a fashion. So like they feel like it's insensitive to do that.
Insensitive to do that, but also that's the history. I think like if there's a kind of complicated history, it makes it a bit more complicated. But of course, like times change, history changes, and like our style changes. So the clothes that people would not wear maybe 60 years ago, people are wearing today. Like fashion has evolved. So basically, if it's an individual trying to show appreciation for the culture, in general, it's a good thing. But if it's a corporation who's benefiting financially from this situation at the expense or without paying any kind of respect to the culture that creates this product, then it's a bad thing. It's cultural appropriation. Well, there you go. I think the last thing that I would say is that if the place or the peoples of that culture, if there's a backlash from these people against using this product or using or wearing this kimono or whatever, I think that is a sign that it's cultural appropriation. Because in both cases, with Prada and with Chanel, like the Indian artisans have kind of complained about this, and there's a big backlash. In Australia, there was a big backlash from the indigenous people of Australia about this boomerang. Like when there was an American white girl who went to prom wearing a kimono, Japanese people in general who are asked, they said
they loved it. I saw some articles about it.
Yeah, they loved it. They thought it was like showing appreciation for their culture. And So I think that also should be taken into account. Like, I think other white American people got angry at this girl for wearing a kimono, saying it was cultural appropriation, but Japanese people did not get angry. Japanese kimono makers did not get angry. And I think that is a sign that it is not cultural appropriation. I think ultimately what is seen as cultural appropriation or not should be decided by the cultures who are involved.
Yeah.
It's not for us to say,
Yeah.
well, that's cultural appropriation or not. Yeah, that was a very interesting conversation. Casey, thank you very much.
You're welcome, Shah.
So, yeah, if you want to have more conversations, not just about this, we have conversations about other things too. Yesterday, I went to Shimizu Koen. That was a cool place, man. I recommend it.
Shimizu coin.
It's in Chiba.
Oh, coin. I thought I heard coin. Like
No, it's not a coin. Koen.
the coin.
Yeah, Shimizu Koen, Shimizu Park in Chiba. If you got kids, you got families and stuff, or if you're a couple or whatever, it's a really cool place to go. The water park for families is very good. And yeah, the fishing is very good. Maybe I'll make a podcast about that. Maybe I'll make a Sham talk about that.
While fishing.
No. Please visit us at www.greensquare.jp and you can make a reservation for a murio taiken lesson. Yeah, murio taiken lesson online. We also do video lessons. So no matter where you are, even if you're in Osaka, Fukuoka, Kagoshima, Okinawa, you can still have a lesson with the fantastic Green Square teachers here. Look, we'll see you in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this one. Goodbye.